Hello everyone, and welcome to another Leetcode video. Today we're looking at the problem minimum number of seconds to make mountain height 0. This was question 2 in weekly contest 416. The question reads that we're given an integer mountain height, which denotes the height of a mountain. We're also given an integer array worker times representing the work time of workers in seconds. So the workers are going to work simultaneously to reduce the height of the mountain, and they want to get it to 0. So the way that the costs work is that to reduce the height by 1, we're going to take worker I times. But however, if you want to reduce it a second time, that'll be worker I times 2. If you do it a third time, it'll be worker times 3, and so on. So return an integer representing the minimum number of seconds required for the workers to make the height of the mountain 0. So I think this is a fairly confusing problem description, and I want to clarify a little bit what this means. So from this example here, you might think that if you stagger the workers and how they work, then that would minimize your costs, right? So in this example, it seems like they're working consecutive seconds. They're working one after another, 2 seconds. But you might think we can do maybe worker 1, then worker 2, then worker 1, and that would break it up. But that's not exactly how it works, right? We have to basically think of this not as consecutive seconds, but say worker 1 goes first. That will be whatever cost. Then 2 goes and does their cost. And now 1 will go again. But since this is the second time that 1 has gone, we have to now say, okay, well, it's actually not the same cost again. It's the first cost times 2. Right? So this is fairly confusing. I think when we get into the question, it'll make more sense, but don't feel bad if this tripped you up. So we're going to use the example 3, 2, 2, and 4 representing our worker heights, and then 10 is the height of the mountain that we have to decrease. So I drew out this table to kind of better illustrate the concept we're going to be looking at here. So remember, no matter what costs a piece of work takes, whatever a worker does, it's always going to decrease our mountain cost by 1, right? So no matter what we do, we could spend, for example, 6, we could spend 4, we can spend 16. It's always going to decrease our mountain height by 1, no matter the amount of work we do. So knowing this, knowing that it doesn't matter, what our cost is, it's going to do the same amount of work, does it make sense to pick a bigger one? Like in this example here, we haven't done anything yet. We know that we're going to decrease our mountain height by 1, no matter which of these costs we take. So why wouldn't we just take the smallest one? I mean, that makes sense. So let's do that. So let's say we're starting with 10 here, and we're going to choose this 2, right? So we say this 2 is now taken, and our height becomes 9. So we did 1 unit of work. But now we see that the next time we use this worker, it's going to cost 4. Well, should we do that? We should not, because we still have lower options here, right? So let's use this 2. We have another 2 here. It's the smallest value we see, so let's use that. And now our cost is 8. So now our options are, we could do 3, 4, 4, and 4. Well, here the best option is 3 because it's the lowest, and we're going to do the same amount of work no matter what, so let's choose 3. So now we have a height of 7. So now our options are 4, 4, 4, and 6. So now finally, it makes the most sense to choose one of these 4s because all of our smaller options are gone. So it doesn't matter which one we take, let's choose this 4. Okay, so now our height is 6. Now our options are 4, 6, 4, 6. Let's choose another 4, and we'll say our height is 5. So now what we could do is basically choose from these smallest. We have 6, 4, 6, 8. So you kind of see a pattern developing here. What we can do is just greedily always choose the smallest option. And why do we do this? Because like we said, we're always going to decrease the height of the mountain by 1. So if we have the choice between 100 and 2, and it's going to do the same amount of work, why would we ever choose 100 when we can get the same amount of work done for 2? So we're always going to prioritize the lowest values. And how do we do this? Well, you might think maybe we could pick the smallest one, we could sort them, then try to put the new value into the array and sort it again, update it every time. But way too complicated and way too slow. What we're going to do is use a min heap, right? And basically what we're going to do is we're going to have the smallest worker cost at the top. And what we're going to do is say, all right, well, I'm going to use this cost, but I know next time it's going to be bigger. So I'm going to calculate the cost for this worker next time and put it back in our heap, and it'll go to the right place. So then at this point, all I'm really doing is, while this mountain is greater than 0, I'm just going to pick the smallest one, calculate the next value, and put it back in my heap. I'm just going to keep doing this and keep doing this until my height goes to 0. And then basically, what we're going to do through this process is just pick the highest value that we've seen at this point. And why do we take the highest value that we've seen? Well, remember, we want to find the amount of time that it takes for this whole mountain to be gone. So let's say that worker 1 took 6, worker 2 took 8, worker 3 took 12, right? And worker 4 took 16. Well, we know that we always chose the smallest value. So we know that this is the most optimal way to do it, right? This is not actually our answer, but just an example. This would be the most optimal way that we found to solve this problem. And we know that since we chose the smallest, there's no better option. And our answer would be 16 here. And why is it 16? Well, because even though the workers did similar amounts of work, probably, it didn't take them the same amount of seconds to do that work. And remember, we chose the most optimal way by choosing the smallest values. So we know that the minimum number of seconds is 16, because even though these guys were done working, this one was still working until time 16. So the mountain was still present until whatever the max value that we've seen is. So what is the time complexity here? Well, let's call our mountain height to be h, and then our worker times to be w. So we know that for a min heap, the time complexity to add or remove something is logarithmic, and it will be log of w. And why is it log of w? Well, because we're going to have at most w elements in our heap at any time. So it's going to take log of w in order to update it. But we have to do this h times, right? Because we're going to do this one time for each occurrence of height. So if our height is 10, we're going to do this h 10 times this. So our overall time complexity is h times log of w. Let's hop over to the code and see exactly how this would work. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our heap, and we're going to push a tuple in here with 3 elements. So this is our current time. This is basically going to be whatever the cost is, or however many seconds it's going to take to do the next unit of work for this worker. Then this is going to be our base time, right? This is how much time it took the first unit of work for this worker, and this is the number of times this worker has worked so far. Then we have our maxi variable, and this is where we're going to keep track of the maximum element that we've seen so far. So then, for as long as our mountain height is greater than 0, or rather in the range from 0 to whatever height it is, we're going to pop off the smallest element of that heap and update our maximum answer, which is the maximum of whatever we've seen so far and our current time. Then we're going to add this new time into our heap, and this represents whatever unit of work or however many. Then we're going to add this new time into our heap. This represents how much time it will take this worker the next time to do that unit of work, and that's current time plus our base time times count plus 1. Then we just push that back into our heap, and at the end, we return our maximum answer. So let's submit and make sure that it works. And it does work. Hopefully this is helpful and made sense. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.